If one person deserves credit as a moral conscience of the modern environmental movement, it's Aldo Leopold. He spent his life studying nature, from his early years as a forester in the Southwest to his work on game management at the University of Wisconsin, to working with his family to restore a worn-out farm in the Sand Counties of Wisconsin. He captured his lifetime of wisdom and insights in his book, A Sand County Almanac, which remains one of the most enduring and inspiring works of modern literature, and in many ways is the foundation of what we know today as ecology and environmentalism. This is Professor Neil Hamilton from the Drake University Agricultural Law Center with today's Our Water, Our Land. We're here in Burlington, Iowa, on the bluffs above the Mississippi River in front of Leopold's boyhood home. It was on this river and in its bayous and marshes that he developed his lifelong commitment to observing nature. He spent his lifetime outdoors, and as a teacher, he inspired countless students, and as a mentor, he helped public officials and politicians find a way forward. Leopold's contributions to game management and soil conservation helped lay the foundation of programs that are still with us today. He worked with fellow Iowan J.N. Ding Darling on the National Wildlife Commission appointed by FDR, which helped set the guidelines and basis for the acquisition of millions of acres of land that would become our National Wildlife Refuge System. He helped spearhead the nation's first soil and water conservation watershed project in Coon Valley, Wisconsin. His early advocacy to set aside a portion of the Gila National Forest as a wilderness helped prepare the nation for what would eventually in the 1960s become the National Wilderness Act, which has protected millions of acres of land and left it in an unspoiled nature for people to enjoy into the future. Leopold's writings, especially his essays, A Land Ethic, and Thinking Like a Mountain, are some of his most powerful statements and reflections of his lifetime of learning and studying. These essays have fueled the ambitions of countless individuals into careers and lifetimes in land stewardship. One of my favorite passages from The Land Ethic, an essay that I always share with my law students, is when Leopold writes, "When the logic of history cries out for bread, and all we have is a stone, we're at great pains to describe how much the stone looks like bread." The bread Leopold sought for our people was a land ethic, an ethic that would replace man's role as conqueror of nature with being a member of a community with nature. This was a bread that would replace the stone of economic self-interest and replace it with a sense of obligation and conscience for nature. Leopold's inspiration led Iowa politicians like Paul Johnson to pass the 1987 Groundwater Protection Act and include in that law the creation of the Leopold Center for Sustainable Agriculture. For 30 years, this center led the nation's researchers to find more profitable ways to farm while at the same time protecting our soil and our water, the very definition of sustainability. Thinking about what we can do today that'll continue our actions into the future. Unfortunately, in 2017, small-minded Iowa legislators decimated the operation of the Leopold Center, fearing that it threatened our Feed the World mantra. But this does not diminish the power of Leopold's vision. It merely illustrates what he knew, that making changes in the way that we think and treat nature will take time. Leopold believed that our embrace of a land ethic was an evolutionary possibility and an ecological necessity. Today, as we face challenges from water quality to flooding, from torrential rains to climate change, Leopold's wisdom can help guide our actions. These issues require us to consider how we manifest our duty of soil stewardship and our duty to the land. As we decide our course, it'll be valuable for all Iowans to remember the wisdom and words of Aldo Leopold. This has been Professor Neil Hamilton from the Drake University Agricultural Law Center with today's Our Water, Our Land, coming to you from the beautiful bluffs of Burlington, Iowa, above the Mississippi River, in front of one of Leopold's boyhood homes.